Welcome to my presentation on faith and art. Now, just a disclaimer, I can't draw. So, what is faith? The word faith is a contested concept which is difficult to define or characterize in a neutral way, but there are three ways that we can actually approach it. First is to look at the cognitive element. Faith is commonly thought of as a subset of belief. However, while faith is a form of belief, many beliefs do not involve faith. For me, saying that Donald Trump is irrational is just a belief I have and doesn't tie back into my religion or any aspect of any other religion. Now, looking at the second aspect, we have to look at the emotional element. Faith differs from many other beliefs in that it implies it's an emotional commitment. If you have faith in something, it is more likely to shape the pattern of your behavior than if you merely believe in it. That is why the leap of faith shows us that we believe that God will bring us to the other side in a well and mannerly condition. And then finally, we will look at the ethical elements of faith. It carries with the idea that things will work out for the best. Faith resembles hope in that it usually is oriented towards the future and is usually positive. For example, if I got sick and said that I would turn well from my illness in a matter of days, that is a faith that I have that my body will react to the virus quickly. So the bigger question that I have today is, to what extent does faith embed itself into one's interpretation of art? Let's take a minute to pause the video and actually discuss about this in class. As you guys may have figured out by now, I'm not that well versed in American music. So let's make you guys the outsiders and introduce you into Indian American music and culture. Looking at Carnatic music, that is the oldest music on earth, as it dates back to the Indus River Valley and Dravidian times of India and its colonization. So let's listen to a piece and then go into these questions and see if you see any faith elements. Now let's go into Gana Sangeet, which is a type of form of song that India uses to show its pride and prejudice against other countries and sometimes for its well-being. This great example could be tied back into American music when we see the Star Spangled Banner, but if it was made into a pop song. And then finally, let's go into my favorite type of music, Indian filmy. This is very common in Bollywood and Tollywood, which is pretty big considering that Bollywood is bigger than Hollywood. But we also have to see that faith may play a role or it may not play a role in the way that we interpret this type of music, considering that our society today is a lot different than when societies back in our past interpreted music and how that affects our interpretation of music. But there's one thing I didn't tell you guys, and that there's a bigger reason to why I didn't use American music. And that's something I'll explain.